Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi and today we're going to talk about Bitcoin price predictions. How high can it go? This video is not meant to instill any type of FOMO, that's fear of missing out, but it's always a subject that gets a lot of people excited. How high can Bitcoin go? How much money can you make by investing in Bitcoin? So right now let's take a look at some of these price predictions that people are throwing out, and then after that, I'm going to get into my thoughts on the whole thing. So let's go. Hey guys, so here we go with the Bitcoin price predictions. I will include a link to this one down below in the video description. You just go to bitcoinprice.com/predictions anyway. So this one has been updated for the year 2021. You're going to notice some interesting patterns between the predictions that were made circa 2020 and this year compared to those that were made in the past of 2015, 2017, for example. Basically, we're witnessing the narrative of Bitcoin changing all over again and why people are justifying these much higher price predictions of Bitcoin. So the first one here is Shervin Pishavar, a venture capitalist, angel investor. He has made a call for Bitcoin to reach $100,000 by the end of 2021. A few people, I think, have made this prediction as well. But what's happening here is basically this prediction came from Shervin shortly after a meeting with MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, who he himself has invested more than $1 billion in Bitcoin for his company. Anyway, what this prediction is really referring to is the decline of the U.S. economy. And so that's why they're bullish on Bitcoin. Next here, Thomas Fitzpatrick, $318,000 per Bitcoin by the year 2022. Not too long to go with that one. Again, his analysis drew similarities between the gold market of the 1970s and Bitcoin's price action. So that's another new narrative for Bitcoin now is, it is gold 2.0. It is digital gold. It is gold perfected. So if that's the case, and magically everyone who is a gold bug is going to abandon gold and move into Bitcoin, this is what, Bitcoin could see. $318,000 by 2022. Winklevoss twins, classic, $500,000 per Bitcoin by the year 2030. And again, these guys are claiming, again, it's Bitcoin, or it is gold 2.0, will disrupt gold. If it does, it has to have a market cap of $9 trillion. So we think it could price one day at $500,000 of Bitcoin. So basically, if Bitcoin ever hits the $9 trillion market cap, that is what the price of Bitcoin could be. Anthony Pompliano, you guys might know how we feel about him after our recent video. But he tries his best to represent Bitcoin in the mainstream media, so you can't hurt him for that. Always talking about the Federal Reserve, quantitative easing, huge inflation hitting the US dollar, and how the smart people are hedging against an inflation by investing in an inflation hedge that is Bitcoin. Now this guy's name, I'm going to butcher it. So Chamath Palihapitiya, his price prediction is $1 million by the year 2037. Now that year is pretty specific and interesting. This guy, he definitely bought Bitcoin early, bought a lot of Bitcoin early, and he's been pretty vocal about Bitcoin, especially, when you're considering, again, things like hyperinflation. And he's saying this thing has the potential to be comparable to the value of gold. It is a fantastic hedge and store of value against autocratic regimes and banking infrastructure that we know is corrosive to how the world needs to work properly. Basically, it's a great inflation hedge. It's a great store of value. And so because of that, that's what we're saying. So there's many different reasonings behind these huge price predictions for Bitcoin. A lot of them is just simple math of, the amount of money flowing into things like gold, the relevancy of cryptocurrencies proving themselves. If you're comparing, supply of gold versus the supply of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is the hardest asset that has ever existed, and you cannot Cannot argue with that. You can try, but who knows how much gold is actually out there. We know exactly how much Bitcoin will ever exist, not to mention the fact that there's about, 3, maybe 4 million Bitcoin that are actually out of circulation, never to be traded. They were lost, forgotten about, and unrecoverable. So that 21 million is actually a far more like 17 million. So yeah, talk about an inflation hedge. It's pretty anti-inflationary. Now let's go back to some of these past Bitcoin price predictions. Tim Draper had it right. He said it was going to hit 10,000 by 2018. Also Mike Novogratz and Ronnie Moaz, he said it was going to hit 50,000 by 2027. That's a pretty conservative price prediction considering when this price prediction was made and the date that he said for it. But also, okay, John McAfee, classic. He thought it was going to hit $500,000 by 2020. Didn't quite get there. Also, these guys were pretty close. 50,000 by 2019, off by 2 years. Master Luke, again, off by 2 years because we hit beautiful 65,000 in 2021. And Trace Mayer said it was going to be $27,000 by February 2018. Now, it's interesting when you're looking at these past price predictions and how they were wrong. A lot of them were just comparing the activity of the previous bull run that happened in 2017, even in 2013, and how that would play out for the prices in the future. And so for those of you who think, you know exactly what the market's going to do, it's going to do exactly what it did last year, the last trend, it's not always right. There's plenty of people who are wrong. So you always have to keep that in mind and be conservative. And dollar cost averaging is an amazing way to invest in Bitcoin. But anyway, here's my thoughts on all this stuff. So we're dealing with some big numbers, right, in the future, maybe the not too distant future. What I want you to pay attention to is, first of all, how do these price predictions make you feel? Do they make you feel like you're not properly prepared? Does it make you feel like you're going to be golden and you can just retire in a few years? Here's some things I want you to pay attention to. Number one, when I see Bitcoin price predictions, it honestly doesn't evoke much of an emotional response from me, other than, let's say people are saying it's going to dip to like $3,000. Great, another buying opportunity for Bitcoin if it'll last very long at all. But really, I want you to understand is like, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like if that is how Bitcoin ends up, what are you going to do to be prepared and take advantage of that price move? How long are you willing to wait for that price move to happen? And also, how are you hedging against that? What if that price prediction never happens? First of all, the more you learn about the thing you're investing in, the more comfortable you're going to be investing in that thing. That's why Toby and I are very comfortable being really into cryptocurrency from an investment standpoint. We have so much faith in where this whole space is going, the relevancy of a cryptocurrency, of decentralized networks, of freedom, autonomy with how you can transfer your wealth. It's a thing a lot of people are going to need. And so because of that, there's a real use case for especially something like Bitcoin. Basically, what I'm getting at here is when you see things like these price predictions, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like you don't see what those people are seeing to justify that price point? Does it make you feel like you haven't prepared investment-wise to take full advantage of that price movement? And speaking of hedging as well, there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies out there. Toby and I are big fans of Bitcoin, obviously, but personally, I don't think this is a zero-sum game. I don't think there's going to be one crypto that rules the crypto world. Everything else is going to be non-existent or irrelevant. There's a lot of really amazing, innovative, disruptive tools being built on blockchain technology, leveraging what was first released by Bitcoin, but really moving much further past what Bitcoin can do. Smart contracts, for example, DeFi, NFTs, super speculative right now, but deep down NFTs have a very real use case with ownership and bringing that ownership onto the blockchain. I'm getting off topic, but that is the moral of the story here is, how do these price predictions make you feel? What do these people know that you don't? And what else do you need to learn about Bitcoin that that you can be on the same page and be prepared for that. It's all very worth your time to look into and to explore those questions. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and hit subscribe to get more videos like this coming out every day. In the meantime, I'll see you again real soon. So stay disobedient and stay happy and healthy. I'll see you soon.